there's a lot to talk about, so let's just get right into it. Let's talk about first the Freddie Blassie versus Rikidozan match from 1962. Maybe some people listening to this, maybe they don't quite understand who Rikidozan or Classy Freddie Blassie were. So, for context, out of everybody, you might know Classy Freddie Blassie more. He was a manager in the World Wrestling Federation in the 80s, but before that had a legendary wrestling career that spanned several decades. He wrestled everywhere, held nearly 40 titles in his career. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy statistic, yeah.
And important to this match, was known as the Vampire in Japan because of his habits of biting during a wrestling match.
Lots and lots of biting. My God.
His opponent is Rikidozan. And Rikidozan is the father of modern-day Japanese professional wrestling, also known as a Puresu. He trained Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba, the men who would go on to found New Japan and All Japan, respectively.
It's crazy.
He was basically the biggest star in Japan. His grave is looked at as a hollow place. He was a Superman in Japan after World War II and the ensuing chaos and destruction. And this guy was an icon and still is an icon in Japan.
Absolutely.
So the context of this match, April 23rd, 1962. And you might be wondering to yourself, well, why review this for a first show? What makes this match stand up with Cage of Death? Well, Mikey, you might have the answer to that question.
Yeah. Well, see, just very, like you said, opposite ends of the spectrum. So, catering, I guess, to two polar different fan bases, or if you're like us, pretty much like everything about professional wrestling,
you're probably just curious.
Yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But
probably very curious.
But yes, Rikidozan and Freddie Blassie. A big reason we're going to talk about this is allegedly Freddie Blassie was so violent to the Japanese hero Rikidozan that apparently there was Japanese men that had actually had heart attacks and died. Which is insane. Absolutely insane.
Now, this comes from Freddie Blassie himself, who, of course, Freddie Blassie, one of the best promos of all time, but also a very notorious tall tale teller.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that this match is so you watch it back. And this match, by maybe today's standards, is nothing special. This is not going to be your, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, big main event. This is not going to be, your big high spot match. But what this is going to be is basically a legendary match.
Absolutely, yeah.
In the annals of pro wrestling history.
Yeah, and what's also crazy is a little over. Just like not even a full year and a half after this match is, Rikidozan passes away because of he got stabbed with a urine-soaked knife by a member of the Yakuza.
So both these men here, no stranger to sensationalism.
No,
but
you're right.
What's the flavor of this match? Well, if you like old school pro wrestling with its violence, you're going to like this.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to definitely enjoy, Freddie Blassie is the heel here. Of course, this is in the Japanese nationalism phase. It's Rikidozan, national hero. So everything that Freddie Blassie does to Rikidozan, the crowd is in on it. They know this is a messed up dude. Of course, Freddie Blassie was hailed as the vampire because he was biting Rikidozan during the match. And this match was apparently so brutal back then that, as Mikey said, old Japanese men in little chairs had heart attacks and died by watching it on television.
And that's insane to wrap my head around, because like me and you talked about before the pod, like, now today's standards of professional wrestling, even, in the 90s, like when the internet and everything first, the IWC first came about, people started to like get in on, the whole aspects of like kayfabe and everything. But like back then, everybody thought that Freddie Blassie was genuinely the evil American coming over to try and kill our hero, basically. And that's the beauty of wrestling. That it's kind of like a lost art now, because everybody knows that go on behind the scenes.
It is a predetermined, it is fixed, but everything in the ring, it will impact someone's life.
Oh, absolutely.
And health. And this type of wrestling, which maybe people don't really know much about these two guys. But in the context, this booking strategy that they had is universal. Everyone's done this. Foreign heels,
yep.
But it's in the case of a man, Freddie Blassie, that most people just know as the old man who was the manager. So to see this stark contrast, and to see Blassie just be violent is so weird to me.
To see Freddie Blassie, like, because a lot of people who know Freddie Blassie will know him, as being the manager, or being like the guy who did a lot of the like pre-show like hype videos for like Attitude.
The beginning.
Yes, yeah, Attitude Era pay-per-views and things. But he legendary for that. But something I noticed in this match is Blassie not much of a grappler, of very scrappy style, just punches and bites to the forehead and the fingers.
Excellent heel work.
Excellent heel work.
Powering away while making Rikidozan look like $1 million.
You're right, and the fact that an American, Freddie Blassie, an American, got the American people back then to root for this Japanese hero in Rikidozan as well. Cheering for the other country's hero is insane. But that goes to show how much of a great heel Freddie Blassie really was, and also how good of a hero, a good guy Rikidozan was as well. So,
of course, in the end, Rikidozan does get his hand raised in victory, and the crowd just goes crazy.
Oh, absolutely. They
love them some Rikidozan. I believe he wins the version of the JWA belt. I think Blassie might have had it beforehand, but maybe some background on the JWA. The JWA is Japan's first wrestling promotion that's nationwide.
Yeah.
JWA is responsible for bringing in both Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba, who I'm guessing if you're a longtime wrestling fan, if you're deep into it, you know who those two people are and what they go on to do. But just, it's kind of funny that we pick Blassie and Rikidozan.